The stream is live. We're good to go, right? We're good to go.
We're good to go.
Oh man, guys, what's up? Thank you for joining us on a very special, fun, mellow Wednesday chill out show. How to make Autobio comics. We're going to go through various stages of my Autobio comic book career. With me, as always, the incredible jazzy Jamie Wood on production.
Happy to be here, Jim. Thank you for having me.
Dude, thank you, as always, for being here. I appreciate it, man. Jamie, before we get into some comics, could we handle just a little quick business, a little business time?
Can indeed. Here we go.
Guys, my next comic book project I'm currently penciling right now. Defective Comics presents The Arachnid Enforcer. This is a wall crawler, superhero parody, horror, Halloween themed comic book launching October 1st on Kickstarter. Please cruise on over to the pre-launch page, hit that notify me button, and let's build a hype machine for indie comic books. It's going to be beautiful. Ink Pulp Live, you know, it's your favorite Wednesday show. Sean Crystal and I, the homeboy, the brother from another mother, hosting some of the most fabulous talents in comics. We hang out, we draw live, we talk craft, we promote each other's work. Look at that catalog of all the different shows, man. We're building some shit. It's great. Cruise on over, check out the archives on that. Chris Pierce, an incredible man, a legend in the comic book community. Cruise on over to his page, Comic Tropes After Dark, and check out our B movie review show called Trash Movie Bonanza. Many, many fun episodes. We've got guest appearances from Daniel Warren Johnson, Rob Schraub, the incredible Jorge Corona, and his wife, Morgan Beam. So fun. Last but not least, if you dig music, man, Skullfunk Radio, cruise on over, skullfunkradio.fireside.fm. 60 free volumes of mixtapes. All your favorites, pop them on. Listen while you work, while you groove out, dance around the house with your dog or your cat. Also free on Spotify, Skullfunk Radio. Yeah, man. Guys, we're going to go through Autobio stuff. I'm going to start at the beginning and kind of show. We checked this book out already. This is published in 1995. We checked this out on the Girl Scouts 30th anniversary stream, but I wanted to go a little more into detail on how to not draw comics. And this is one of my first appearances as myself with like a very large forehead for some reason. And this is me playing the role of like basically a host type character for Autobio. I think I picked up on this probably from reading Evan Dorkin's comics, but this is not Autobio going in depth into me or my life. This is me as social critic and sort of mean-spirited, smart-ass wise guy, critiquing and commenting on things that I think are wrong with comics and the comic book industry in 1995. Because, guys, damn it, I was 20 years old and I knew everything. I knew everything there was to know about, Jamie, not just comics, but life and my right to shit on people's work and critique things.
Still do to this day. Still do.
Gothic art students from hell. So that's one example. Cosmic Toast, 1996. Still in college, still a bitter and jaded art student. But check this out. This was kind of an interesting thing. This is an Autobio comic I did I was having some problems going through a breakup, and I've kind of turned this character into a surrogate for myself. I was too not afraid, but I just didn't want it to blatantly be me in the book. So I have a stand-in friend talking to me over some beers, and here's the deal though, you guys. Everybody at school, I went to a small art institute. Everybody at school saw this book. So my ex at the time started hooking up with a guy that I knew, and I named him by name in this comic. So like, don't do that. Don't name people by name. And so after this book came out a couple weeks later, the guy ran up to me on campus and was like, dude, did you name check me like in your new comic book? Are you talking shit about me? And I just played dumb. I was like, no, no, of course not. The 10 most important things in my life, assignment by John Ferry, junior illustration. So I'm a junior in art school, and this is actually a class assignment, which was, this is illustration. So I think it was make a list of the 10 most important things and then illustrate one of those things. For me at the time, being, you know, the very stubborn comics guy in class, I was like, no, I'm just going to make a comic about the 10 things, which I'm going to host. Disgruntled artist. Again, the large foreheads. What was going on at this time? And I'm wearing a slave labor graphics t-shirt, and there's a slave labor graphics poster with the Girl Scouts behind me, because at this very moment, at this time, I was talking to slave labor about possibly publishing Girl Scouts. And that deal did not go through because I was too young and dumb to work with them. And Dan Votto wisely chose to not work with me, the publisher. So we have comics, peanut butter, movies, art, music. Of course, I've always been a huge music fanatic. I dig that drawing, that idea, like the names of some of my favorite bands are in the t-shirt, the Merchant of Grooves on my forehead, jazz, reggae, hardcore, hip hop, ska, punk, funk, anything but country.
That's why the forehead was so big, so you could fit that on it later.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, great. Okay. Carmen Jane Dope Acosta is here. Dave Crosland is here. King Gum. We got some of the Los Angeles Inkstains cast and crew ready to go. Number 5, individuality. Number 4, my car and skateboard. 3, beer and drugs. Of course, beer and drugs can provide a fun and safe escape from the bullshit hassles of everyday life. If you've never engaged in any mind-altering substances, try it. Get completely drunk off your ass sometime and make a fool of yourself. Get so stoned that you can't even see or remember your own fucking name. Go to a bullfight on acid. And if you can't make a career out of art, think about selling narcotics as an alternative. You'll meet a lot of interesting people and make a shitload of money. Think about it. You don't need to repeat. Think about it, guys, when you're writing. Like 40 ounce of malt liquor, only $1.50, mere pocket change. Number 2, friends. There's Steve Willerette, Mike Huddleston, Jay Sonderman, publisher of Detox 9, my other roommate, Paul Friswold at the time, my homegirl, Heather. And I was looking at this last night, and this made me laugh very loud out loud. Heather says, I really wish he'd quit coming over to our apartment. Heather's roommate at the time was my then girlfriend. I drew my girlfriend's face in this. And then right before I went to press on this book, my girlfriend and I broke up. And so I cut and pasted this face on top of her face. just to be a dick. But that made me laugh. I was like, wait, I drew over her face. I remember being very happy with that drawing. Like that hand drawing that in 96. Like I wasn't able to draw stuff like that a couple years prior. Two friends, and that goes into also being able to smite my enemies. Number one, the unknown. And then these are the teachers at the Art Institute I had at the time that were commenting on how tired they are of me being obsessed with making these comics. That goes into Stupid Comics. Dave Crosland, by the way, I know you're in the chat. Look at that, buddy. Look at that. Guys, I moved to Arizona in 97 and I started doing a comic strip for a local magazine there called Java Magazine. The strip was Stupid Comics. It started as a monthly, and the publisher of Java did the intro to this issue. Robert Centenary, Robert driving his pimp car. Little portrait of Robert there. Robert was cool and gave me a chance and, paid me to be in his magazine. So the magazine Java was like this hipster rag that you could find on the corner at Urban Outfitters when Urban gave away Vice magazine for free, and at your local record stores. And it was pop culture, comedy, satire, some political stuff. But very quickly it got into me making my own Autobio comics. And this one was like Robert commenting to me that the readers don't like my political based comics. So I shoot one of the critics. No time. This is Jamie. This is a comic about me just being so busy as a professional cartoonist that people are calling me with offers to make cartoons and freelance work, and I'm just so busy. I'm always at my drawing table. Cupid is a fucked up bastard. This is a commentary on dating life, and you can kind of read into what that would be about. I'll go through Stupid Comics on a separate show that I'm going to do all about my political cartoonist career, because some of the stuff actually is pretty funny, like Star Wars dorks. This is when Phantom Menace came out. Fill-in artist. I was sick, and so we had a fill-in artist take over, and he produced this terrible, shittily drawn comic. No joke this time, you guys. I very sick in an airport, can't turn my comic in, so I had to just send this to Robert last minute. But me being this was cracking me up. Me being always like a hype machine guy. I'm too sick to make a comic, but I take the time to pimp all the new projects I have coming out. Girl Scouts 3 will be out soon, I promise. I'm doing new 2-page comics for Arizona's Playtime magazine beginning next issue. Check them out. They're pretty extreme, politics, social commentary, and lots of drawings of naked girls. Yes. Number 3, Kevin Smith and I will be doing 1-page Clerks comics in full color for that new publication, Talk Magazine. Peep them out. They're going to be funny as shit. Number 4, the 40-ounce comics mini tour continues. I'll be doing signings in St. Louis, Kansas City, and Maryland all in the next month or so. Check out my website for current details, 40ouncecomics.com. That site is now jimmahfood.com.
Jim, how did the political stuff, like, how did you get into that? Because you're not, like, up until this point, you've not been doing much politically driven work, really, have you? Or you have, and I just don't know? Like, how did that come about? Was it just a gig that you got hired for?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Jamie, because I worked as a political cartoonist, I've retired from politics. You know, like
Right. Okay.
in 2016 when that election happened, we won't talk politics here, guys. Don't worry. This is a fun show. That's when I walked away from it all and was like, okay, this is now just a clown show. Like I'm just going to make comics that are fun, psychedelic, wild, crazy, and really, celebrate the visual medium of comics and not do super text heavy critiques on the world and
Mhm.
but also, man, I was a young man, and when you're young and idealistic, I think it's important to express yourself. Like it's important to, if you want to talk and put your political ideas out into the world, like do it in a somewhat intelligent way. The problem is social media came along and sort of ruined the craft of that, because I was actually sitting and writing and drawing comics about my ideas. Now you just pick up your phone and you do, shit posting and you scream at people that don't agree with you. And that's considered political, but it's not really political. It's just yelling into the soulless abyss. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Of the digital world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was at least, taking the time to make this stuff. And there was an internet, but there was no social media at this time. So you would get these monthly doses in stupid comics in Java. I'm sorry, of these ideas. Jamie, look, we're such bad boys. Wanted. Robert Centenary, publisher of Java magazine, Loki, the photographer, and Jim, the cartoonist. We're so bad. I actually got people did talk shit to me about this comic. They were like, dude, you're not that cool. This was the 40 ounce comics kids, a spoof of Peanuts, obviously. Uh,
I guess that's what I was asking though. Were you like before you were doing this job? Were you a very politically motivated person, or did you become that to do this job?
yeah, I sort of was like my family, my grandfather and my dad's side of the family worked most of his life for the Democratic Party and was a super political activist in St. Louis.
Mm.
And my dad was always and still is like a news junkie and a political guy. And uh, yeah, it was always around. And as a kid, man, I was super obsessed with like Bloom County, the comic
Mm.
strip with Opus and Build a Cat. And that was Burke Breathed doing really fun pop culture and political satire. So yeah, it was, in my work, and then it just wasn't. It was like I kind of said everything I needed to say. And this is kind of cool timing, because getting to strips like this is where I start making autobio comics that really aren't about beliefs. They're about just hitting the streets with my headphones, and I see a cop and he kind of gives me the evil eye, and it's more of just me with daily observation kind of stuff.
Mm.
Um, and then stupid comics, I brought all my creator own work over to Image Comics in, what was it, like 2001, 2002. Uh, so eventually stupid comics also, I graduate from doing a monthly strip in Java magazine to doing a weekly comic strip in the Phoenix New Times, which is a much bigger circulation. I wanted to shout out my homegirl, Kelly Sita is a brilliant artist that I went to art school with in Kansas City. And she started doing this thing on the covers to the Image stupid comics of, I wanted them to look like, old Peanuts comic strips. So she started doing like the Bandai halftone color and the worn print effects on these. So to give it that old feel. This is pretty cool. That's a portrait of me in my studio at the time. You got the Bill Hicks poster, the Coup, Public Enemy, Noam Chomsky, Herb Magazine, Fela Kuti and Africa 70 record. Akira Kurosawa quote, "To be an artist means to never avert one's eyes." I like that. This is literally my setup. Like the filing cabinet with the phone. I had this is when you had a separate caller ID box right here. And I had my caller ID box on my art table taped to like a rag. And then I had my stereo with my stacks of CDs, my beverage, comic book boxes under the table. You're good to go. Shout out to Jim Valentino at Image Comics for bringing me over and always letting me do just whatever the hell I wanted at Image. So fun.
Speaking of that, have these been reprinted? Like, can you still get these, or are they out of print?
Jamie, it's funny you asked that, because the 4 books I just showed are available as this trade paperback, also through Image Comics, with me and Smoke Dog on the cover. And this collects everything, plus I think some bonus strips in the back. And check this out. This is crazy. This is a photo of me at the Canal Room, a nightclub in New York City. This was at the Africa Bambaataa show when he performed in Manhattan. And this night, me, Paul Pope, and Mike Huddleston all did live art on stage as Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force performed. Crazy night.
That's insane.
Crazy night. You got quotes on the back from Brian Michael Bendis, Bill Morrison from The Simpsons, Peter Cooper, Phil Hester, Scott Morse, DJ Kid Koala from the Gorillaz, and Brian Azzarello. Azzarello's quote is pretty great. I have a feeling that Mahfood actually has a real love for pop culture, even though he's pulling its pants down like some schoolyard bully and leaving it exposed for the rest of us kids to laugh at. So this is still in print. You can still get all the stupid comics. Where was that one? Yeah, this starts to go into what evolves into Los Angeles Inkstains, which is my most famous and most celebrated Autobio comics, which is just a travel story of me getting stranded in an airport after the Alternative Press Expo in San Francisco. And all I've got is my sketchbook, my Walkman with CDs, new books from Dean Haspiel, Boy in My Pocket, and Craig Thompson, Doot Doot Garden. Dean was just on an episode of Ink Pulp Live that you can check out. Craig's already been on Ink Pulp with Sean and Mateo, and he's in an upcoming episode with the 3 of us as well. So just a slice of life comic of dealing with an issue and sort of moving on. This is a crazy one from, this is when September 11th happened. I got stuck in Memphis, Tennessee. I flew out there from Arizona to do a guest lecture at the art school. I wake up and 9/11 happens, and obviously all the airport shut down across the country. So my homegirl, Michelle, drives from Kansas City and picks me up in Memphis, and we make a road trip adventure going from Memphis back to Arizona. So this was a drawing I did in the front seat of like her driving and us stopping at truck stops along the way, me almost running into a dog on the highway, and getting back to Arizona, but commenting on it's funny because I'm commenting on like, I don't know what's going to happen next, like with this crazy shit in New York that's happening. Like no one knew what to expect. And then I did a comic after 9/11 and stuff was in full effect about how I wanted aliens to come to Earth and just abduct me and rescue me from planet Earth. Because at the time it seemed like, you know, America was just going to completely fall apart. And here's a political strip about like anthrax, dude. That's snow, asshole. Very 2001. Here's another one. Once they announced the Patriot Act and that the government could now legally tap all of our phones and stuff. Ever get the feeling you're being watched? And like the FBI and
That's such a cool
CIA
piece.
are pretty crazy. This yeah. My obsession with funk music. So funk is, you know, James Brown, George Clinton, Sly Stone, Curtis Mayfield. Funk is getting a new mixtape from my little brother in the mail. Hell yeah. Shouting out friends and, you know, family and just how music affects my life and affects my creativity to make art. You know, it's like a cyclical thing of what you absorb, what inspires you, whether it's music, movies, other comic books, art, your family, your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, that goes back into you making art, you know. Some ads. Oh, and there's okay, I had the quotes on the back of this first issue as well. So we also have DJ Jester and Joe Casey and Troy Nixie, Huddleston and Jill Thompson. All just fabulous people giving me quotes. Me and Smoke Dog as the bombs are about to drop. This cracked me up last night as well. Made me laugh out loud because like nothing changes. This was done in 2003. So in 22 years, nothing has changed. Check this out. Because our economy is in the toilet, because we can't breathe the air no more, because our culture is ruled by soulless celebrities, because our leader is a heartless monster. We need more stupid comics. So guys, don't be scared. Don't live in fear, have anxiety about being alive. Like nothing changes. Like we were all scared and upset about the same shit, you know, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. There you go. No funny title, no funny ideas. Oh, this is me not having ideas for a comic. And so I go over to Scott Morse's house for a barbecue. And Scott's like, just make your comic about you coming over to the barbecue.
That actually ties in very well. We got a good question there from Derek Neiman. He said, Jim, for Autobio comics, do you have any pointers for people like me who have a boring life?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I think even the most mundane things can be worthy of you writing and drawing comics about. I would immediately suggest that you read all of American Splendor by the incredible Harvey Pekar, because Harvey was sort of the king of making the most mundane, trivial things of everyday life into an entire comic book series illustrated by incredible artists ranging from like Robert Crumb to our buddy Dean Haspiel, Ed Piskor, rest in peace. You know, check out Harvey's stuff, man. I think he would be a really good inspiration for you.
See, is it a second part to that? Sorry, when you go, Jim.
And my other thought on that was like, and you know, think of it as a journal, as more like you just journal every day, and then maybe at the end of the week you take those best journal entries and you do kind of like a week in review of your life. And you'll be surprised at how much material you actually get out of that. Jamie, what was the other? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, this was just me gonna ask. Like, I've spoken to you before about like how insane some of the stories you have and the life that you've led. Did you know that at the time when you were writing these comics, or were you thinking like, I don't know, I guess because in retrospect it's easy to see how insane that stuff was. But at the time, was that why you were making these comics? Because you were like, this is an exciting time, or were you just living it and didn't really think about it?
Yes. See, Jamie, that's why you're the producer of the show, because we didn't rehearse any of this. And the question you just asked is like the lead up, the literal introduction of the entire Los Angeles Inkstains enterprise that happens, because it got to the point living in LA that I was like, okay, I have to start documenting all this, because this is like a movie now. Like my life has become a movie. So before that really starts hitting in 2003, okay, so I'm living in LA at this time, and it's kind of like I'm still doing comics about like, oh, I'm having wrist problems from drawing too much, so I go to the acupuncturist. There will be a comic in Los Angeles Inkstains about me going to an acupuncturist because of neck and back problems from drawing too much. But then in that same comic, it's like, and then that night I went to the club and me and my friends partied with some strippers. And then we went on a 3-day bender and wound up in Mexico. Or, you know what I mean? So it becomes a whole other thing. People say the most fucked up shit. This is me being at a convention, and the very strange things that people say to you when you're at a convention. This kid has an anarchy shirt on. Hey, Food, my funky brother, Tagmaster G from Fractured Faced Anarchist Internet Radio here. Can we do an interview with you right now? I've got about 30 questions I want to ask. So here you go. And he's pushing someone else out of the way. Whoa, man, would you mind if we did this a little later? I'm backed up on sketches right now. And I promised this guy you cut in front of that, you fucking fake. Fuck you, man. You're not down with the cause at all. I'm going to report this on my website and expose you as the toy you are. Crazy stuff, guys.
We had another good question there from. Oh, sorry,
oh, sure.
The question was from Mark Unterberger. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. He said, Jim, how much do you check with people before including stuff that may be pretty personal in these comics?
Good question. I always would present people in the most respectful way possible. And if there was an issue, I would ask people like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, or this is the panel, but because of friends and family, like I respected everyone's privacy. So when we get to Inkstains, there is a filtering process that I'll kind of explain, where it's like, dude, I'm not going to go into full details of people's personal lives, you know.
You learn from that guy in college.
Yeah, exactly. Someday I'll be a real artist. This is me going to gallery shows and seeing all the incredible art. And then I'm around some lovely ladies. And what kind of art do you do? Me? I draw comics. Oh, I see. Comics always getting the short end. Okay, so this is what turns into Los Angeles Inkstains, where it becomes, 5-panel tiered comics, literally going through a day of like waking up, making work, go to my PO box, meet up with my boy Miles, eat some burritos, meet up with my boy Andrew Soria, party, have fun, drive through LA traffic, get home, crash out. The sweetest things. This was a rare comic about my family, friends, observing life. issue 3, wrapping up Stupid Comics. You can see immediately going into 2005, the drawing style starting to get looser. You know, starting to get a bit more of that visual funk going on. Summer Comic-Con recap. Recapping Comic-Con. This was a legendary event, recapping being at Wizard World, and we rocked live art on stage with MF Doom. This was crazy.
Insane.
This was a crazy night at the Metro in Chicago. We wound up giving him a couple of our paintings that night, but dude, I was on stage with MF Doom. I mean, that's kind of hard to believe.
It's crazy.
That's an epic moment. It's going to be okay. This is me reacting to the 2004 election. Kind of a political strip. You guys can just buy the collection and just read these for yourself. I won't go into full detail of these. Fat man in a red suit. This is me explaining to an alien strange Earth customs like believing in Santa Claus. Midwestern holiday. Me going from LA to cold ass Midwest, kicking it with the family, eating and drinking a lot. Talk to friends in Arizona. Dude, it's 75 degrees here. Fuck you. The greatest career ever as a independent cartoonist. So that's Stupid Comics. You get the I just want to make sure I'm not missing. It Was a Good Day, Part 2. You can see the drawing style, or from I can see anyway, just the slight evolution, things changing. And doing panels like this, like, I don't think I'd done stuff before like this. Like, open up the windows and let some of that fresh breeze in. Ah, that's better. You know, like just a very slice of life moment. You know, everyone can sort of relate to, like, if it's springtime, you let that fresh air in. It's a very human moment. Getting ready to go out at night, you know, shave, shower, patting on some of that aftershave lotion for the ladies. Jamie, you got to smell like lavender when you go out.
I'll write that down. That's a good tip.
Please do. Guest appearance from Dave Crosland in the chat, King Gum.
I was going to ask him, sorry, you go.
Me rocking out with my buddy Andrew Soria. We used to go to his place and I would do drunken freestyle raps and Andy would play guitar. And also, this is going to be a big part of LA Inkstains. This might be the first appearance of a taco truck in one of my comics. You can't underestimate the power of the taco truck. Dope back cover colored by Jose Garibaldi here. Shout out to Jose.
Jamie, go ahead. About the layouts and stuff that you're starting to see in Stupid Comics with that like 5-panel grid, like how insanely dense those pages are. Was that like a conscious choice, or was that like just how much stuff you had to fit into these stories because it is like stuff that actually happened? Do you know what I mean? Where you need to get all those details in because it becomes like a lot more apparent in LA Inkstains. You see that running through it. But was that like a conscious choice for you, or was that like a necessity thing?
It was more being ambitious and wanting to fit in more story, more pacing, more story, and just being like, okay, these type of comics aren't going to be splash pages, are superhero style panels with dynamic action and energy. This is now going to be the style and format for making slice of life autobio comics, you know? So it's almost like the writing and the text trumps the visual language, you know. This one I pulled out of my archives just because it's so damn weird. This is a CSI comic from 2006, published by IDW, and the suspects in the comic are actual comic book artists and writers. And so the editor at the time asked me to draw myself on the back cover. So here's me in the CSI universe, guys.
It's canon.
I don't know. I find this in your local quarter bin. It's issue 2 CSI. There we go. If Dave Crosland is still in the chat, this is a collaborative effort with me, Dave Crosland, aka the King Gum, and our buddy Insane Wayne Chinsang, the writer. This is a book called Bad Ideas, and you open the front cover here and you see this absolutely ridiculous, horrifyingly racist imagery, which, Jamie, I don't know. I mean, tell me if we should not show that on YouTube. It's obviously a joke, but you could not get away with this now. I mean, the joke is I'm Middle Eastern, so I'm a Middle Eastern stereotype on a camel. Dave is a black man, so he's a terrifying Sambo throwback character. And Wayne is an Asian man, so he's the worst Asian stereotype you've ever seen in your life. Dude, the timing of this, I was just in Arizona last weekend doing a signing at Ash Avenue Comics. Shout out to my boy Drew. And a random kid in line brought this up to me and opened this book up. He was like 20 years old. And he was like, what is this? Like, what is this image? And I was like, oh shit, man. Yeah, ignore that. Yeah, Dave, right? This is a different time. But I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble either at Image, but like in 2005, this was published in an Image comic book. It's so fucking crazy. And this whole book, the joke is this whole book is so crazy and insane. And it's a commentary on the comic book industry. And me, Wayne, and Dave put ourselves as characters in the book. Of the joke is we're sitting around at a comic convention commenting on how crazy the culture of comic books is. And Wayne gets the idea of, hey, everything we're talking about right now, us critiquing comic books, even though we love it, why don't we make a book about us making fun of comics and all the tropes of the industry and tropes of going to comic book conventions? And so that's what the book becomes. And you see Dave immediately drawing a Rob Liefeld early 90s pouch heavy comic. All the teeth. You got the Extreme Studios teeth. This is wild shit. Dave, I haven't looked at this in a while. I feel like this might just be its own episode along with other weird comics from this era. I will show off my solo section is me making fun of like anime and manga, even though I truly love anime and manga. And it's making fun of like young pubescent girl cosplay stuff. I don't know. Dave, I don't want to speak for you, but I will. But you know, we were very high and drinking heavily in our lives during this period of creating things. Right? It's safe to say. It's safe to say that. This book did not do well. This book did not sell great. This was just a thing that we made, and Image published it, and then it came out. Real fun because Dave and I would literally draw on the same boards together. We were both in LA. So, you know, he drew Comic Kid and I drew, what's the girl's name? Dave? Comic Kid and Hot Chick, I think. So, you know, we're literally drawing on the same boards together, which is super fun. And our boy Jose Garibaldi, who I mentioned, he colored this spread, the guy who colored this dope samurai graphic that I drew. So yeah, Dave, maybe you should come on sometime and we'll go through bad ideas. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Always ranked as one of the top 5 publications I've ever put out in my entire career, Los Angeles Inkstains. Jamie, just to set the tone of this, could we show a quick Inkstains crew promo video from 2010? This is the San Diego Comic-Con live art party, and you will catch guest appearances in this from Dave Crosland, Mike Huddleston, Jason Sean Alexander, Ming Doyle, Ben Templesmith, I believe David Mack. Really fun, drunken good times. It sets the tone for Inkstains. Jamie, please hit it. Oh, hell yeah. Damn good times. I also wanted to shout out my boy Crew Jones did the music for that. And Scott Morse and Ray Fox also making appearances in that video for about 10 years straight. Scott Morse and I did that annual San Diego live art Comic-Con party. And if you were at those parties, man, you know what a just raging good time those were. So fun. So damn fun. I mean, we would get so drunk that I would DJ. There was a couple of comments. Yes, I would bring a crate of records, and I never got great at blending super smoothly, but you know, I would get on and do a set. Always had great selections, but pretty raw in the actual mixing skills. Guys, Los Angeles Inkstains, in 2008, the economy of America crashed, and I had no freelance work, and I thought that I was going to end up homeless. So I figured, if I'm going to end up on the streets, I might as well go out with a blaze of glory. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to start making an Autobio comic series chronicling the crazy adventures of living in LA. I'm going to post these once a week to my blog spot when Blogspot was a thing. And to my surprise, the comics resonated with people, developed a huge following, exploded in popularity. And then I suddenly started getting work again. So pretty crazy, pretty amazing. There, so my homegirl, Carmen Acosta, aka Jane Dope, designed this book and did an incredible job doing it. We were
Carmen's
really
in the
ambitious.
chat, by the way. Carmen is in
Oh,
here.
good. Okay. Perfect. Shout out to Carmen. Thank you so much for the hard work. We originally were super ambitious and wanted the book to be like this giant monster-sized publication. So we submitted the files to Image, and Image, because the book is black and white, Image printed the book as just black and white. But because it had all these gray tones in it, the artwork printed too light. And then we have all these collage inserts showing photos of all the people that were in Inkstains. And these ink collages came out too light, really bad. So when this was a period, this was 2012 when the book was published. I requested a printer's proof from Image before they went to print on the whole run. So they FedExed me this, and I freaked out and showed up at Carmen's day job when she was working at Bell Sound recording studio in LA, and was like, dude, the book's ruined. We're fucked. Our dreams are over. I don't know what to do. And we had like a powwow session over it. And she was like, well, first of all, the book's too big. Like, this is just too much. So let's shrink the book down, make it tighter, make it more compact. Let's readjust every single page on the blacks. You can see like this right off the bat. This is too dark, because this is supposed to just be subtle shout outs to all the people that participated in the book, all the photographers. So this is supposed to be lighter, works much better that way in that format. The blacks and the grays. Okay, Carmen, you're here. You remember this whole incident, right? The me freaking out and bringing this to your job and probably getting you in trouble at Bell Sound. But look at how much better all the strips look. And look at how much better all the photo sections are. So the basic, we'll get into the nitty gritty of the book, but I wanted to go over the basic format of the book, which is you have me and Carmen made the book. Shout out to all the photographers whose work is exhibited in the book. And then I did fun, personalized shout outs to all these people. An introduction by my buddy, Herbert Russell. Herbert is a art critic, art historian, actor, man about town, Zach Galifianakis lookalike. He was cast in the movie. What are those terrible movies that are like, they make fun of it, like Scary Movie or whatever? I don't know. There was a spoof of The Hangover, and Herb played Zach. But we would walk around town, and Zach would go to Comic-Con, and Herb would go to Comic-Con, and people would think he was Zach. So Herbert wrote this incredible, studious introduction to the book, and it kind of did what I just did earlier in this video, where it chronicles the history of my Autobio comics, the evolution of the style, and gets meta, where it's even me and Herb talking about doing the intro to the Inkstains book. So we have the intro, we have the actual comics of the book. And then this is where the brilliance of Carmen comes in. After each section of comics, the cast that appears throughout all these comics, we then get 2-page collages of photos of those people. So if I talk about painting on Cat G, doing body paint and stuff in the comics that happen in the body of the strips, then we get actual photos from that. I talk about an art show with Nate Van Dyke and David Mack. We get a photo of that. I talk about going to roller derby with Carmen and Bryce. We get a photo of that. Jason Shawn in the house looking very handsome there. But it's dope. I'm not, I mean, well, fuck it. I'll brag. Yeah, we pulled this off. Like, it's fucking dope what we did. This is like a really special, magical book. And then towards the back of the book, the strips and we get bonus material. And I did a custom strip for Carmen's work. I mentioned Bell Sound, famous recording studio in Los Angeles. So this was me chronicling their Christmas party. I did a tribute strip to Gary Wilson, one of my favorite musicians, and his record, You Think You Really Know Me, which is one of the greatest underground records ever put out. Shout out to my boy DJ Dusk, who we lost, and a comic, the brown paper bag documenting my horrific downfall, getting a DUI during the 2006 San Diego Comic-Con, you guys. How humiliating. The cherry on top, the thing that took us 3 months to put together, in the back of the book, we have a yearbook, and we literally have every single character who appeared in 4 years of the comics with their appearance in the book and a photo of them next to them. It took Carmen and I 3 months just to organize this section of the book and to get permission from everybody. I had to, like, Guillermo del Toro appears in the book. So I had to get a photo of him, and I had to get Guillermo's like publicist or whoever to sign off on him being in the book. This is madness. So after Carmen puts together the yearbook, we're meeting at my place or whatever. We're looking at the yearbook. And basically at the same time, we both look at each other, and she's like, you know what you have to do, right? For the book release party. It's a yearbook. I'm like, oh shit. She's like, you got to throw a prom. You have to throw a full scale high school style prom so that everybody can have their book at the prom. And in the back of the book, you get everybody to sign each other's books, high school style. So you guys probably know about this. It's in the record books of the official comic Guinness World Record book release parties. What I'm trying to say is, we threw the greatest book release party in the history of comic books, you guys. We threw a full-scale prom at Titmouse Animation Studios in Hollywood in 2012. We'll get into that prom in a bit. Jamie, if you don't mind, could we go back to the intro of the book, and could we set the tone with a behind the scenes video of Herbert Russell and I talking Inkstains and setting up the world?
It's just say straight from I'm not talking to you. I got some responses. Just segues anyway, comics. Like the shittiest class of whiskey. Sorry. Oh shit, he's not. Anyway, we're good.
Yeah, do it.
Cool. We're starting.
So how do you keep track of dates?
It's not so much dates. It's just the year and then like what I can tell just by glancing at each one what era they're from and sort of what order they go in by the events that happen. You know, the way it started was I knew that like 2006, 7, and 8 had been like the most interesting and bizarre and fascinating fucked up years of my life, and I knew that I should have been documenting them. When 2008 was ending, I was like, I'm gonna start 2009 by documenting the crazy shit that goes on, especially living here. I guess it didn't dawn on me that a silly, crudely drawn comic could like break through to people in that way.
So you're propelled in that way and compelled to continue to ink it out, right? And
Yeah.
story is between the frames. And what you get are these moments.
Inkstains is usually what happens when it's what happens when I go out at night, really. And it's if people aren't reading it as a comedy, they're sort of reading it wrong. It's a fun, surreal adventure set out here in this weird city we all live in. The other thing about the city too is just the people you meet. The characters.
One of my favorite cameos in your Inkstains, because you have quite a few celebrity cameos, and some of them make sense. I mean, Ziggy makes sense. You work with him. Sarah Silverman made sense. You work with her.
Right.
There's a drunken, or is there not a John Lovitz, like just sort of trying to pick up on women at a random, you know, and that's the kind of thing you might just...
Yeah, there's endless stories, and what you said about in between the panels is one of the ingredients of the science of comic books. You know what I mean? Where when you're reading comics, you're not even conscious of this, but your mind is always picking up things that are happening in between panels. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to show a character leaving a room and walking down a hall and going into the next room. You can just show him leaving the room, and in the next panel, he's in the next room. Yeah. And your mind fills in the blanks.
Yeah,
and
it gives them room to dream as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I want the reader to feel like they're along for the ride with me and my friends, and they're going out with us. They're going out like partying with us and having fun. Don't film this cocaine that's right here, by the way.
Let's get rid of it. And a certain sort of innocence to it. I mean, your character doesn't need to be repentant because there's no real moral crimes being committed in all of it. You know, it's actually very sweet. But you are flagrant in your use of, you know, alcohol, pot, mushrooms,
right,
MDMA, and the whole thing. You clearly have a very liberal view of drugs and individual responsibility. Adults,
yeah,
ought not to feel an experience of shame over
over
sex and drugs and rock and roll.
I think that's stuff is an essential part of being alive, really, you know. But in no way am I saying do this. I'm just putting it out there. You know what I mean? It's
Who
like,
could do? You're like Hercules. The amount of garbage you consume here.
Right,
you know?
right. Well,
and every morning somebody's offering you a pot brownie. You know, it's like just to soften the blow.
It's also the conflict between the different artists that are inside me, where it's like one day I just want to illustrate and make interesting images and not give a shit about text or telling a story to anyone or convincing anyone, following me on an adventure. Just like, here's some cool visuals, like just shut the fuck up and look at these. Like, here's some hot girls and some weird dogs and some crazy splattered ink and some Gonzo shit. And then the other part of me, of the guy who's like, no, I want to tell stories though. I want to tell people these crazy stories. Like, this shit's funny. Like, it should be on paper and it should be out in public for people to enjoy and feel like they're experiencing it with us and they're along for the ride. And if I can tap into something that they can relate to, then I'm connecting with them deeper than any image could connect with them. Do you know what I mean? And that's that.
Yes.
You're speechless. I left you speechless. We're done. We're fucking done. So guys, good luck with editing this down to something usable.
Oh man, I miss that Hollywood apartment I lived in for 15 years where we shot all that. And by the time I moved out, that apartment was just completely destroyed. But shout out to my boy Herbert Russell. Incredible job on the intro and always being a good sport. Shout out to Steve Soria, one of my favorite directors in the world, who shot all of that with his crew. And yeah, little promo video. The very first Inkstains took place on New Year's when it turned into 2009. And it's just a very, kind of loose, big paneled documentation of that night. And, as you go along, you can see the comics become tighter and tighter and more packed panels to the point where is my, oh, here we go. When I go to France, these comics become almost, look at this, it becomes almost unreadable, where these are now just sort of like living, breathing Gonzo journalism, Gonzo comics, where it almost works better as you just look at it as an art piece and you're not even worried about like reading this stuff, because I tried reading this last night and it's just sort of it's just crazy. But you'll get some fun drawings, like that drawing of myself right there. Like it's fun, but it's also it becomes a bit of a daunting task, but the whole series starts off with kind of a lost love situation where I had screwed something up with this girl. So a lot of the early strips are about me dreaming about and kind of trying to figure out if I can repair something with this girl. And it doesn't wind up working out. But that's okay. We have one of the first appearances of El Compadre, legendary Mexican restaurant on Sunset Boulevard, where me and my friends would meet all the time and drink flaming margaritas. Steve in the chat, Street Hawk, I see you, buddy. Shout out to you. Jim Lujan, shout out to you too, man. Love you guys. Street Hawk was my neighbor at 1545 in Hollywood. He lived in my building while all this shit was happening. And I think I got to the point where we annoyed Steve enough that he just became friends with us and then became part of our crew. Ka is right, Street Hawk. We got appearance from Bad Andy Soria. Troy Nixie visiting from Canada. Shout out to Troy, an incredible artist. This strip like changed the game for me and changed the whole trajectory of Inkstains. It was the anniversary of my buddy Mike. My buddy Mike unexpectedly died, I believe in 2000. I had known him since we were babies. That's our parents, like literally, wheeling us around the neighborhood in strollers. Him and his brother were my first ever friends. And so on the anniversary of his death, I did this the first 2-pager, Inkstains, recounting our friendship and how much he meant to me. And I was posting these on my blog, and this comic got the biggest reaction online of anything that I had ever done at that point. Like hundreds of comments and people wanting to tell me their stories about like friends they had lost or stuff like that. I mean, things that just like all people can relate to. It was not what I was expecting to happen at all. It was pretty dramatic, and overwhelming in the best way possible. But it's us as like little kids playing superheroes, drawing comics, playing soccer, watching movies, turning into teenagers, skateboarding, going out vandalizing, trying graffiti. I found out Mike passed away, and I was living in Arizona when I got the call about his death. I destroyed my studio in a fit of rage and despair. And then I flew back to St. Louis for his funeral and said sorry and loved, you know, to all of his family. And then, you know, go back to present time. It was just me celebrating the anniversary, remembering him on his birthday, you know, not his death day, but on his birthday. Interesting. So, you know, like all these strange things happen in life. And I go into, I'm not going to go through every single strip, but I was dating a girl who I had a birthday on January 18th. And I mentioned to my buddy Derek that it was always hard for me to celebrate her birthday because it was Mike's birthday and he passed away. And I'm talking about her to Derek. And then I hadn't seen her in a long time. And then later that day, I was on Runyon Canyon and I ran into her. Like the weirdest thing ever, like the craziest coincidence. So right off the bat, you can see this dramatic shift in the tone of Autobio comics from beginning as me being a 20-year-old smartass critiquing on like what I think comic books should be, to now it's a full like slice of life, everyday dealings, friends, love, loss, that kind of thing. Traveling, making art, always got to do shout outs to the beer, the tacos, spray paint, fit in a quick disco nap. Our first photo spread. All the memories, right? Like we all have crazy memories throughout life. It's wild. All these, that was like the best thing about living in LA. The people I met, like the most fun and most talented, like iron sharpens iron. So I was around like the most talented artists, directors, photographers, filmmakers, musicians, DJs, live art with Jason Shawn, Mike Huddleston, Adam Dumper, Scott C., Tara McPherson, David Mack getting down next to Dave Crosland, Dave Cho appearance, rocking the Punisher shirt. My boy Derek, whose photography is in a lot of this book. My boy Jeff Shagowat, rest in peace to Jeff, one of my best friends. You know, you lose people through life. We all have these things that happen. But I learned with doing Inkstains, I learned that if you write about certain elements of life, it doesn't matter if people are into comics or not, or into this lifestyle of partying or whatever. If you put in things that all human beings can relate to, loss, love, family, wanting to hang out with good friends, eating delicious meals, travel, working, hustling for money, joy, sorrow, having crush on someone, all these things, I started to put in the strips, and it made it relatable to all people. So like the guy who asked earlier, I have a boring life, how do I make Autobio comics? Well, that's the answer. You just put in all these elements of your life that all humans can relate to. What do we got going on here? Flying to New York on Virgin. Clutchy Hopkins was playing over the sound system in the bathroom. This is the greatest piss I've ever taken on an airplane, ever. Oh man, doing the art show. So many shenanigans, guys. Getting into trouble. Little cute drunken makeout session with an old friend. Oh, here we go. This is the first body paint session ever. The pervert train with my homegirl, Love Oblon, the photographer. Shout out to Love. Derek, Jen, Kat G. Shout out to Kat. Steve Aoki makes an appearance. The next day, I went to Steve Aoki's new place up in Laurel Canyon. He lives on Wonderland where those John Holmes cocaine murders happened. Creepy. You think you can rock a mural on this wall? Sure, dude. Jamie, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. You're so enraptured with this book that
I am, Jim. I'm just letting you go. This is history right here. I'm just letting it happen.
I went over these and I do want to point out some highlights. But again, we don't. Oh, we we went downtown to Shepherd Ferry's B-Day party. La Cita. I love this place. Inside, happy birthday, buddy. Thanks, man. Yo, I heard about Boston. What the fuck? Those asshole cops arrested me on my way to my art opening. Everyone was like, just get Obama to pardon you. Haha, that would be rad. That was a big story. Shepherd Ferry had a huge solo art show opening in Boston, and he showed up and the cops arrested him as soon as he showed up because of previous graffiti, previous wheat pasting he had done in the city. But they did it just to fuck with him. They did it just to be assholes, you know. Inkstains on my hands today. Another late night in the studio all alone. I'm pretty happy with that kind of storytelling. Again, this wasn't happening in the previous work. It's okay. Kind of cool close up there. With these kind of shots, you don't need to show the eyes. This is the action. The action is hunched over a drawing table. The pen is on the page and we see comic panels. We see some art supplies in the background. This one panel lets you know all about what this character is, what his life is. I guess I can say me, you know what I am about just for that one panel.
See, just to tie into that, Jim, is there any part of you at this time that is, I don't want to say self-conscious, but this is you're putting stuff out here that is so personal and so honest. Are you worrying about that at the time, or is it just?
I'm not worried because I was getting such a strong reaction from people online, but also in real life. That I really, and I'm not just saying this, but I really quickly learned how to respectfully filter the stories so that I was never revealing any of my friends' dirty laundry. I was never being cruel or I was never being inappropriate. And I mean, there are little hints throughout the strips of girls that I was sort of maybe dating at the time, but there's a lot of dating stuff on my part that I kept out of the strips because after a while, man, I was going out so often living in LA at this time to art shows and stuff. Most of the art community in LA was reading the strip. So I was getting feedback from people. So I knew people were looking at this and I was like, oh shit, there's a lens on this. I don't want to upset anybody or burn bridges or, hurt anybody's feelings. This is a perfect example. Chad and Jay hooked it up. Yo, we have prime boards ready for you guys to paint on and drink tickets. Dude, loving the ink stains. Thanks, man. Jay, here's your cameo. Enjoy, Jim. That's my boy Jay, who used to work at this fantastic club in China in Chinatown called the Grand Star. And we would occasionally do live art down there. But again, and there's an appearance from this girl, Jenny. She buys me a huge Long Island iced tea. And she was someone that I would wound up kind of dating, but I don't go in the details of our dating relationship in the strip just because I didn't want to disrespect the boundaries. Like I didn't want to.
What about you
and
just from yourself though? Sorry, on you go, John. On you go.
I think I answered my own question, but yeah, it just got to the point where I figured it out of what to write and draw about and what not to. And also, man, I mentioned in the video, the strip is supposed to be a humor strip. So even though it is slice of life stuff and does get into deep issues occasionally, it is a comedy. It is like this wacky Gonzo kind of adventure where the reader is along for the ride of living all this wacky stuff. Here's another acupuncture strip. And then I meet up with Scott Mosier. Scott produced all of Kevin Smith's early movies. Today, my buddy Scott Mosier and I went to Endeavor to meet his agent who's going to rep us with our new animation pitch. I sort of look like a bum. Fuck it, who cares? Endeavor is in Beverly Hills. It's one of the largest talent agencies. All the women that work there are beautiful and tall. Can I get you a water? Sure. All the guys that work there are well-groomed, totally square, and totally white. Hello, guys. It's like some weird and warped alternate reality. I'm sort of frightened. But Scott's guy was cool, and the meeting went well. Afterwards, we went to the coach for some well-deserved beers and food. Thank God you're the most Hollywood guy I know. Ha ha. And then, of course, we go party afterwards. It's St. Patrick's Day. Some appearances from some Los Angeles all-stars. Umar, Frohawk Two Feathers is an incredible fine artist. House, incredible breakdancer. Willow, the gas lamp killer, unbelievable DJ. Mir One, legendary illustrator and graffiti writer. Did the cover to Limp Bizkit's most famous record, whatever, the one, whatever that's called. I don't remember the name of it.
I can't think.
And there's Willow DJing, just crushing it. He looks like a Muppet. Ha ha, awesome. And this is the first appearance of Carmen Acosta, Jane Dope in Inkstains form, our brilliant designer of the book. She was part of the Los Angeles roller derby girls. And so me and my boy Miles went and met her at one of the roller derby matches. And we were blown away by how cool it was. We went outside and smoked a bowl. We ate burritos. We totally got into the match. You're starting to see me getting into some really nice, exaggerated cartooning here. I have that original page. Yes, you do. You got the original art hanging in your place. The night ends with me drunkenly stumbling home. The next day, some good news. For the second year in a row, I got a piece into the Spectrum Illustration Annual, and then Scott called. You don't have to go to small claims court. We're getting your money from those bastards. Word. Nice one, man. Life is all about the small victories. A beautiful day. And I'm walking down the street eating some cookies. This is Scott Zobak, who was my illustration rep for a while. And this is a reference to, I was working for Pabst Blue Ribbon at the time, doing their entire ad campaign for Colt 45 malt liquor. And we started having these problems with them paying us. And it became this whole thing with Scott and I where we were like, we might have to get like lawyers involved and all this bullshit. This is sweet. Sunday was my B-day. I think I look pretty damn good for 34. I talked to my mom. I remember the night you were born. This is my mom saying this. I remember the night you were born. By the time your dad parked the car and made it inside the hospital, you were already born. I think you were in a big hurry to get into this world and make your mark. I love you, sweetie. I love you too, Mom. Miss you. Again, guys, just for future reference, my aspiring writers out there, you don't want to repeat born in the same word balloon. You know what I mean? She says you were born, and then you're already born. Don't do that. On all these streams, I'm going to point out, because I know I have a lot of aspiring artists and writers watching. So I'll point out the flaws in my old work. Carmen asked me if I want a Jack and Ginger, which is my go-to drink at the time. Jack Daniels and ginger ale. Delicious. That eventually turned into Jack and Ginger beer. And then that eventually turned into Jameson and ginger beer.
Good choice.
Delicious drink, guys. There's me and Bad Andy. We got some drunken bar time marker tattoos. We got Cat G with the body paint session. Derek Akiro photo. The legendary Dan Zacharias in the house. Jeffrey Shagawat, aka Bill Shag. There's Casey at the night of the roller derby shenanigans I was talking about. Eating burritos. Swingers coffee shop, one of my favorite hangout spots. We got some comic book folks. Mike Huddleston, Scott Morris, King Gum, and Bob Schreck. Sean Conant, who lettered all my early comic book work. Clerks, Girl Scouts. Saturday at the con rocked. Can you draw RoboCop riding a unicorn for me? Sure. Mike and I hanging out. 4 a.m. burritos. Free comics from Bendis. Thanks, Brian. No problem. Cameo from Brian Michael Bendis there. Matt Fraction cameo. Meeting up with Matt Fraction, Ivan Brandon, and Rick Remender at Linda's bar. Matt, you got to meet Huddleston. KCAI represent. Hey, man, what up, dude? So Matt Fraction went to the same art school that Mike and I went to. He was a couple years younger than us. So Mike and him never met. And then we get cameos from Rick Remender and Ivan Brandon, and we're passing the fat Dutchie. And I can't speak for these guys doing weed or anything now. We're all grown adults. This is, I don't want to get anyone in trouble with their wives or whatever. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter. Ben Templesmith kicking it in Thursday morning. I flew out of LAX with Jeff Johnson, Dan Panosian, and Dave Johnson. You want a beer? Dude, it's 9 a.m. That's me, Jeff Johnson. There's Panosian. And then we go to a bar. We meet up with Ben Templesmith. There's Dave Johnson, the legendary Devil Pig, one of the greatest of all time. I got an unexpected call from Jeff in New York. Hey, man, Adam, he died in a car accident this weekend. Oh, God, fuck. I was in the same flight as Dave, Jeff, and Cheeks. It's time to go home, no doubt. I better get an aisle seat. On the plane ride home, I felt fucked up and sad. Yeah, a buddy of ours who was an incredible chef in LA passed away unexpectedly in a car accident. Kid Koala cameo on the ones and twos. Guys, I'm on an episode of a reality show. If you ever want to look this up, and it's probably online. The next day I was interviewed for It's Me or the Dog, a reality show on Animal Planet that my friend Dawn is on. Now, look at your hands and pretend there's dog slobber all over them and act like you're all grossed out. Wait, what? Note, reality TV is not real. So my neighbor Dawn was on this reality show, and I did a favor for her and made an appearance on the show. I think Dave Croslin, you were on the show as well. Jamie, can you hear me okay?
I can. I was looking to see if I could find that reality show. I'm still looking.
Okay.
But-
My earbuds died and I took them out. So I just wanted to
Okay, yeah, I can still hear you. By the way, we had a good question just while we were talking there from Amado, who said, "How were you spell checking everything at this time in the book?" And I think that's good. Like, was there any sort of editorial stage of this book, or was it just drawn and out?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I mean, I was just writing, drawing them, and then scanning them and immediately posting them to my blog. So I was my own editor. And then when you turn in a book at Image, you turn in the full file. They will go through the book for you if you want and spell check and give you grammar notes if you want it. And I always say yes to that, of course. Like, why wouldn't you want a free editorial consultation? The next day I did
By
a
the way,
bunch of
Jim-
laundry. Yeah.
Jim,
Sorry.
I think I found the clip.
Oh my Lord.
If you want to see it,
Wait, let's wait till the end. Let's wait till the end.
okay.
Is it like just a quick?
It is 1 minute and 29, but you come in halfway through.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait.
Okay.
West Coast Dave, what up? What up, dog? Wait, Zoe says, "Oh my God, I remember that dog show." Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah. So I'm sure you guys know this, but reality TV is completely scripted, and there's a producer who says beat by beat what's going to happen. He's like, "Okay, Jim, you come in. Hopefully the dogs jump on you. You pretend like you're wiping slobber off your hands on your jeans, and then you're going to do the." It's nonsense. It's bullshit. The next day I did a bunch of laundry. I met my neighbor Christina, who was wearing very short shorts and a tight little shirt. Hi, Lord have mercy. And then, I got all my hair cut off. Check out the fresh new hairdo right there.
The buzz cut.
This was the day Michael Jackson died. Look at this weird drawing of this taxi cab, but listening carefully to the soulful lyrics of Rock With You as the cabbie recklessly weaved in and out of traffic, I actually got a little teary-eyed. A world without Michael Jackson. Totally fucking weird. So I have to explain for my generation, Generation X, like we grew up with Michael Jackson, Off the Wall, and Thriller was the biggest record of all time. And he was this, pop culture phenomenon. There had been no one else like him. So if you take all the creepiness out of it, or if he got accused of doing whatever he did, I don't know what to believe. Him dying was like a pretty crazy moment for us at the time. And I went out this night, another weird coincidence. I randomly found a red members only jacket for $10, and Jane Dope bought me a $10 red members only jacket. It fits you perfect. Just like MJ. And then I don't know what happened, but I swear to God, that jacket was magic. I pulled off some incredible dance moves that night. The lightning fast footwork, the ninja-like reflexes. So I was able to dance like Michael Jackson. The next morning I awoke to an awesome message. Jim, it's Chris. We want you to work on blank's new music video. Call me back ASAP. What? Holy shit. Guys, the music video, it was for MF Doom. So
Shit.
we wound up talking. My buddy Miles, who is featured in this comic, he's actually right there. There's Miles. Miles and I were talking to MF Doom and had a couple phone conversations with him about directing a music video I'm trying to remember what single it was for. There's Kid Koala, rocking the turntables. Dan Z, Sandra. Shout out to John G, John Greener, famous, legendary underground comic book artist. There's Miles, the real Miles. Oh, here it is. Okay. Miles and I had a conference call with MF Doom. Doom is the mask and the mask is Doom. Okay, then. Cool, dude. Man, life just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Ha ha. Oh, geez, I love it. So the video obviously didn't work out, but even being able to chat with Doom was such a crazy thing. And then earlier, I met Grant Morrison I finally met Grant Morrison, who I consider to be one of the greatest living writers on the planet. I finally finished The Invisibles. It was fucking amazing, man. Thanks. So did you really communicate with the aliens? Yeah. And they took you to the fifth dimension? You bet your ass they did. Whoa. Oh, Jamie, I should have had you read Grant Morrison's part. He's
dude, I couldn't do justice to Grant Morrison.
He's Scottish.
He is.
and
Doom and
then
Grant Morrison in the same strip is insane.
It's so crazy. So we have Grant Morrison, MF Doom, and to make it even weirder, Sacha Baron Cohen, Ollie G. I was at Carmen's work, the legendary Bell Sound recording. Sasha was there doing what, Carmen? Doing overdubs or something. And he came out and asked me where the bathroom was. And when their lunch arrived, he was in there with Larry Charles, the famous director. He directed Bill Maher's Religulous and worked on Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld. When their lunches came, Carmen let me draw a marker Ollie G drawing on Sasha's lunchbox. Jane Dope gave Larry a copy of Carl, my Carl comic book I'm referring to, and sent me a photo of him with it. Yo, no way. Ha ha ha. Sasha saw that drawing and was like, is that me? Wu-Tang. Ha ha. Totally awesome.
Carmen said it was for Bruno, by the way.
Oh, Bruno. Yeah. Doing some, what do they call it? Not, is it overdubs
ADR?
or is it
Like ADR?
just ADR? Yeah. This is one of my legendary, how many pages is this? This is, oh, good Lord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5-pager San Diego Comic-Con, guys, 2009. We get appearances by Huddleston, Scott Zobak, Dave McKean, Merce, Z-Trip and his wife at the time, Bob Schreck. Thursday at the con, you're actually a nice guy. I thought you'd be a drunken asshole. Really? Some random guy, some random fan who's like, I thought you'd be a dickhead. My boy Jay and John Kenny show up from LA. They showed up with huge Ziploc bags full of weed, Rice Krispie treats. And everybody in our vicinity over the weekend was just so high over these Rice Krispie treats. Check it out, guys. Just for future reference, if you're going to do Comic-Con. This is 2009 me speaking. This is not me now speaking. My formula for surviving the con is this. Wake up and take a bracing shot of rum, shower, clean clothes, eat a huge meal, drink coffee, orange juice, and tomato juice, maybe a Bloody Mary. Another shot of rum, vitamins, maybe a quick hit of weed, floss and brush teeth, proceed to the con. If this means I don't show up to the con until noon, then so be it. If you're going to be here, you might as well make it weird. You might as well be slightly twisted throughout the whole thing. That's my way of dealing with it anyway. This is my 12th year doing it. So crazy. But you know, this is obviously channeling Hunter Thompson. This is
That's what I was going to say.
Hunter Thompson inspired writing. It's very much based on his flow and cadence. And these kind of comics are like, well, what if Hunter and Ralph Steadman were just one guy? What if the writer and the Gonzo artist were one guy making the comics, you know? This girl, we were doing a live art party. I got interviewed by the Independent Film Channel. We're here to get loose, spread the funk, and devastate shit with our art. Okay. The reporter was just like, what the fuck? And then this girl showed up and just took off her clothes, and I got to paint on her. These are wild times, guys. These are wild, uninhibited times. The next day, trying to pack up my stuff, my room was completely trashed. Holy shit, man. Smells like rum and stale paint in here. Got some more strips. This is another kind of rare family one. I surprised my mom for her, which one was it? Her 65th birthday. I showed up. There's my sister, Jenny, my mom and dad. And then I went out the next day at the zoo with my nieces, Katie and Maggie, and my nephew, Tommy. Look at that fat penguin. We pet the stingrays. It's cool. They don't have their stingers. Awesome. They're slimy. So this is so crazy because my nephew, Tommy, is a little kid here. And now he's like a 25-year-old man, and he's getting married next year. So more traveling, more shenanigans. DJ Expo's bachelor party, complete with strippers, lap dancing, Expo puking outside of where did we go? Cheetah's strip club. I took off and had to go to Atlanta for Dragon Con. God, I wish I didn't have to go. I have so much painting to do for the art show next week. But I got to party with my friends Ted Nafee, Tara McPherson, Alex Pardee, David Mack, Mike Mignola, and Shannon Stewart. Anyone up for Chinese buffet? Let's go to the Klingon party. Guys, party in my room, suite 555. Dan Z got drunk and did a cartwheel in this bar. And there was this one-armed girl that hung out at our favorite bar, and no one liked her. She was kind of annoying. And this was so hilarious. This was so crazy because Danzy accidentally kicked her in the face that night. We got little babies having their onesies tagged. We got DJ Expo and his wife, Z-Trip, my little brother Danny, Jane Dope, and myself. Oh, here they are. Here they are. These are the styrofoam lunch trays, lunch boxes for Larry and for Sasha Baron Cohen.
That's so cool.
Forgot they were in there. Joe Casey and I made a book with Ziggy Marley called Marijuana Man. It's a hardcover one-shot graphic novel that Image Comics published. And that's us going over story and art with Ziggy. There's Larry Charles posing with Carl the cat. That's the photo that Carmen sent me. That's hilarious. You see how thorough this is. This is why Carmen designs these books. You get the comic strip version, and then you get the live photo version in the collages with Ziggy Marley at my art show, with Scott C outside of our 2-man art show we did in London called Supreme Broship. Awesome show. Awesome show. How we doing on time here? So let's get into some more videos. Jimmy, are you cool with that?
Let's do it.
So let me set it up real quick. Like I mentioned, guys, we had an insane prom at Titmouse Animation Studios in June of 2012. Black formal wear attire only, black and white to reflect Inkstains, black, white, and gray. We did an Indiegogo where you could buy the book and package deals. The entire art scene, music scene, comic scene, animation scene in LA showed up. So fucking fun, man. Let's roll them. Videos made by Steve Soria.
For shelf can rap.
Hey, this is Jim Mahfood, aka Food One. Mark your calendars for June 16th. That's the release party for the Los Angeles Inkstains book, and we're having a dance that night at Titmouse Animation Studios in Hollywood. It's a prom. It's fun. Come party with the whole cast from the Inkstains comics. So pick out the right package that suits you.
Shop in fucking Rome! Junior! Senior! Queen! King!
Break out your finest black and white threads for the Inkstains dance party on June 16th. Anyone that can defeat me, Food One, in a dance battle that night, I'll take you out for a burrito.
Dance battle.
Oh, hello! I'm Jim Mahfood, and I'm here to remind you that the Inkstains prom party is June 16th. Oh boy! There's going to be alcoholic beverages. And we all like that at Titmouse! It's a prom! It's fun! Remember your prom? It probably sucked. So come to this prom, which is gonna be way better. Dan Z will be there. Jane Dope will be there.
The Soria brothers.
The Sorio brothers? The Sorio brothers will be there. So come, June 16th. It's going to be the best night ever. Here are the prom packages.
Shop in fucking Rome! Junior! Senior! Queen! King!
So make sure to ask permission from your parents and rock your freshest black and white threads. Like this. And if anyone can defeat me, Jim Mahfood, in a dance battle, then I will buy you a fucking burrito.
LA Inkstains presents How to Go to Prom in 5 Easy Steps. LA Inkstains, what to do. Step 1. Go to the site. The sites are where you can find pornography. www.indiegogo.com/LA Inkstains Prom. Step 2. Pick from your package. No, Johnny, not down there. There are 5 packages to choose from the website. Step 3. Buy it. Steal from your parents. Murder them if you have to. Leave no evidence behind. Step 4. Dress in black, white, formal prom attire. Underwear optional. Step 5. Go to Titmouse, June 16th. Yes, Titmouse. And Step 6. Party. And we'll all see you at Titmouse for the prom.
Dance man.
Yeah, bitch.
You think you down with breaking, mister?
You ain't down with nothing.
Electros rule the dance floor now, sucker.
You don't have what it takes.
Not a joke. When you must be hard knocked up. When you get on the floor, you got to go off. Use every move you learned in life. This is your weapon, not a knife. Pull all the tricks out of your hat. This is no game, this is combat.
here, girls. Hey, you lame bitch! Come join us in a dance battle. You won't do it.
Let him know Inkstains was here.
I'm Jim Mahfood. I'm going to have a party. It's called LA Inkstains.
At the Inkstains dance, we're gonna be employing the latest technology for the music, for the dance. Vibe mixing by DJ Moff and DJ Expo.
And they're good. But wait, there's more! Motherfucker. Oh, sorry, I was just dancing. At the LA Inkstains prom, you get all this cool exclusive shit. The best! You get the book before anybody else. Fancy. Limited edition Inkstains Beat Beat. Super cool. Wow! So get your tickets and come to the prom, because if you don't, I'll fucking cut you.
Wow. Shout out to our homegirl, Heather Higgs One, who starred in all those amazing videos. And I'll give him love again. Steve Soria, man, makes a killer promo video. It's weird because that's 2012. So you couldn't post like videos on Instagram. So I think we were posting these on MySpace, or I don't know. Whatever we were doing, we were like way ahead of our time with making all this crazy shit. That's not me. That's just the crew. That's the crew going along for the ride and just, being a part of all that magic. And then Carmen and I, making the prom happen. And Carmen, I believe Carmen got like a whole army of volunteers for the prom, and including Eli Schwab from Cosmic Lion Productions, Cosmic Lion Publishing, our boy Eli. Him and his girl had just moved to LA, I believe. And they were volunteers, right? Carmen and Kat G, and I'm trying to remember who else. I can't even remember how we posted. Yeah, I don't know. We made all these videos, and they were definitely on my Blogspot. Like Blogspot was Instagram before Instagram. And every morning, instead of scrolling through your phone every morning, I guess you would do that. But in 2012, everyone would just look at each other's blogs online. And I miss that era because the images for everything were much bigger than what you see, little stuff on your phone. Excuse me. But we're going to do we're going to do round 2 of the Inkstains prom videos in a minute, and then wrap things up. But going through some more of the comics. Dave Carlson and I watching Danger Diabolique, killer movie. There's the whole crew dancing, getting down. My moves were so intense and amazing, I actually fell over. I didn't fall because I've been partying. I fell because the rest of my body couldn't keep up with my feet. Damn, dude. So this is when, Los Angeles is crossed out and it's French Inkstains. This is like when it goes into pure Gonzo territory of going to France for Paris Comic-Con, live art parties, mural painting, in-store signings. It was basically a French tour. And me not being able to do it in this style of Inkstains, but doing it basically in just this is like Inkstains on acid. This is like, I just kept a journal every single day of everything that happened, including like all the meals we ate, and then just made these crazy, unnecessarily in-depth, almost unreadable. Look at this. Look at how crazy this gets. But yeah, it gets into some serious shenanigans. I believe there's cameos. Was this the Frank Quitely and there's Maureen. She was my editor on Tank Girl over in France. We did Tank Girl for Ankama, the French publisher, first, and then it was translated into English by Titan Books. So we've got editors in here. We've got, of course, dance parties. Audrey, my homegirl, shows up. I mean, this is like, you can't even decipher that. You can't even read what's going on there. Oh, I got yelled at for wearing my hat inside of Notre Dame. It's a church. We went inside Notre Dame. It was really incredible. Some guy told me to take off my hat. Remove. Okay, Jesus Christ, calm down, dude. I used to get in trouble, Jamie. I used to get in trouble everywhere I went. Like, it was just, you can see why I don't party anymore. Some of this is pretty cool. Like this crazy level of just pure, like that's just straight to ink. There's, a lot of this I don't think is even drawn in pencil. Was that
the case? Was that the case for all of the Inkstein stuff or just this stuff?
No, I would pencil those out very lightly. But with this one, I just vividly remember, like, I'm just, I think going straight to ink with most of this.
Mm-hmm.
This is ridiculous. Look at this.
Almost just prose at this point.
Yeah. So the book itself, like if you get the book itself is not meant to be read in one sitting. Obviously, it's something that you have on your coffee table and you just pick it up every now and then. You read like maybe 4 or 5 strips at a time and enjoy the book that way. There's some of the live art in France with this crew of dudes, the 3 Megabits crew, unbelievably talented artists. There's Scott C. Huddleston and I getting ready for some live art. Audrey, who was our liaison. Audrey was like one of the comic book liaisons to all the visiting artists that would go to France. So she worked for like Album Comic Shop and Paris Comic-Con and yeah, man. Oh yeah, getting loose on a window at the gallery. This is the Happy Birthday to Los Angeles Inkstains. So recapping the year, Carmen and I started the Beepy Sessions, which was my very first podcast. It was a music mixtape show. We would talk, hang out, and then play really killer tunes. And then that evolved into my Skull Funk Radio podcast. But again, look at that. Look at how fucking wordy this gets. Oh, this is a good one. Chatting with Paul Pope. I talked to Paul Pope about the size he draws his comic pages at. I'm telling you, man, work bigger. You'll love it. You can get your whole arm into the drawing and put more energy into it. Nice. Stuck in the Rain. And then that night, Jane Dope scored free tickets to the Pee Wee Herman show at Club Nokia. So I went with her and Dan Z. Pee Wee. This was a monumental night in LA. Going to see Paul Rubens when he brought back the live Pee Wee Herman stage show. It was fucking incredible, you guys. It was so awesome. Something I won't forget. Rocking more live art, getting crazy.
Tech Goblin's asking, can you still find the Beat B podcast anywhere?
No, it was on Libsyn, and then we took it down, but I mean, I still have files of individual episodes, and we just need to put them up somewhere. I mean, it'd be a fun thing to like. The thing is, though, man, I can't put those on YouTube, right, Jamie? Because it's all copywritten music. Or what's the status of that now in 2025? Like, can you?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. You can, but it's like sometimes you can't. Some of them will just close it. Some of them will just take the money from it. It depends what music you used.
Right. Yeah, it's a weird gray area.
Carmen says, let's do one more ep.
Yes. Yeah. I'm down for that. The future. So you can see, like, again, this is getting. Is this a recap? This is probably another. Oh, no, this is France Part 2. I went back again. Wow. Rest in peace, Harvey Picar and Ramel Z. Guess those guys had just both passed away recently. Oh, man. King Gum, Dave Crosland. Carmen made this insane King Gum cake for him that looked exactly like a juicy fruit gum wrapper. I got to paint on pregnant Jana Jordan, porn star. Got to paint her belly. Shout out to Jana.
You may be
Wild
the first
times,
person
guys,
to ever
living in
do
LA.
that.
What's that?
Says you might be the first person to ever paint on a pregnant porn star.
Possibly. Yeah, so the comics get so dense. Oh, by the way, so that video I showed you guys, this is like the ink stains about that video. So there's Temple Smith painting, Ming Doyle, us DJing. So that, you get the video version, you get the comic strip version. So you can see this level of work and this denseness. I think I took a brief break from Inkstains for a bit. And then when I brought it back in 2011, it goes back to being like a very stripped down, more open, spaced out, just a very quick idea per strip. And this was cracking me up, man. We went to the Mocha Museum for the Art in the Streets exhibit. In the gift shop, suddenly Puff Daddy was standing 5 feet away from me. He was trying on some custom series artist signature jean jackets. Yeah? Looks good on you, Puff. Rocket Diddy, word up. Hot. He had his entourage with him. What the fuck is going on here? Haha, should we take a photo with him for BP sessions? It's not worth it. Jamie, I knew in 2011 not to fuck with Diddy, not to go close to him, not to mess with any of those people, those monsters.
Ahead of the curve, Jim.
Thank you. I know. Later at home, so pumped to draw tonight. That's the thumbnail for this video. Just the solo artist at the table, bird's eye view shot. Bonus strip. Today, going to see Prince tonight with the Pervert Train crew. I got to do my hair. Aftershave lotion. I'm ready. Happy birthday to my older sister, Jenny. Oh, this was May 27th. This is almost like this is the anniversary. And then Prince, of course, you guys, gets his own strip. I saw him twice. He did 20 nights in a row at the Forum in Los Angeles in 2011. Absolutely unbelievable. The first night I saw him, I spent $300 or whatever for the super expensive tickets. This is ironic. The super expensive tickets where we were like, this is insane that we're doing this. Just me and my buddy Andy Soria. It was like box seats. We were like 10 feet away from Prince. Like his sweat was getting on us throughout the show. That now, if you go to any concert, like Wu-Tang and Run the Jewels is happening now.
Mhm.
It's like $300 just to go to see a show now, like $250 or whatever. And Prince did a thing where there was a section of the Forum where he had $25 seats so that the common man, the common person in LA, anybody could go see Prince over the course of 20 nights. It was so fucking awesome. We partied, man. He brought the house down with Purple Rain at the end of the night. And Dave Crosland, Gum, are you crying? No, I just have something in my eye. It's okay for grown men to cry, Dave, at Prince. It's okay. Epilogue, super late night at Swingers. I'm just going to take a little nap here. We're like eating late night style, and I'm passing out in the booth. 4 a.m. at home, listening to Can on vinyl. If you guys don't know Can, the band, check them out. They're who Radiohead based most of their, I won't say Radiohead stole from Can, but Radiohead bit heavily from Can. Painting with Scribe at Gallery 1988 in Hollywood. Suddenly, Patton Oswalt walked in. Hello, anybody here? Dude, I'm a huge fan of your stuff. I'm a huge fan of your stuff. Awesome. Cool. Bonus strip, me getting my yearly physical. Carmen's birthday for the BP sessions, fun bonus strip, how to order a cake. I brought some art into a bakery and they decorated a cake with the Beat Bee on it. And there's the cake. Carmen's big birthday celebration. Look at this strip. You get a bonus, a big bonus of just late night jams. Coltrane, Funkadelic, Dr. Octagon, Gary Wilson, Talking Heads, David Axelrod, Herbie Hancock, Kraftwerk, and Miles Davis. What more do you want?
Carmen said, my birthday is next week. Don't forget like you did last year.
Oh, I know. It's the first week of June. What was my excuse for last year? I think I was traveling. Busted. There's the cake. There's the actual cake, guys. You got to have a photo. There's photo evidence of all this stuff.
That's amazing.
Dude, this is awesome. This is me and Ziggy and Joe Casey signing at WonderCon when it was still in San Francisco. And Ziggy Marley, Bob Marley's son, is rocking my Funky Hellhound t-shirt.
That's sick.
Come on, guys. What a life. Bob Marley's son is wearing my art on his chest.
That's so cool.
It's madness. Oh, the Rebel Yell. This stuff will get you in trouble, Jamie. Rocking the Rebel Yell.
What is it? What kind of
It's a rum.
Right, okay.
That's like some Hunter Thompson shit right there. You drink
Nice.
that over ice and you get your night started. There was one of the BP podcast promo photos that my friend Love shot with us just decked out. I've got the custom painted sport coat with the boom box, the BP mural on the wall, Carmen posing behind me, the BP 40 ouncers.
Nice.
There's Love. There's our famous, incredible photographer. King Gum rocking the cigar. DJ Red Sonia, my homegirl in San Diego, who DJ'd most of our live art parties in San Diego. Scott, the killer Zobak, my art illustration rep for a while, the nephew of Alan Spiegel, who we lost just a year ago. Rest in peace to Alan. Alan Spiegel, if you guys don't know his name, one of the most legendary illustration reps in the history of art, represented Dave McKean, Kent Williams, Phil Hale, Scott Morse, John J. Muth. God, who am I forgetting? Everyone, all the greatest painters of the 80s and 90s. Alan was a really good dude, man. I'm assuming he's appearing, or he already appeared. Going to see Ziggy Marley live. I was full of stress and anxiety. Ziggy and his band killed it. Whoa. He even played some of his dad's songs and the whole room filled with intense energy and electricity. I'm instantly cured. The Marleys have magic powers. That's for real. Like working with their family.
That's awesome.
This was a girl in 2011 I was crushing on. The next day, she came out with a gift for me. You made this rad. She looked so fucking hot, I couldn't resist her. In make-out session. Later, and it's just me being happy. So that, this was like a respectful, like I didn't mention her name or, it was just it's like a cute cameo, what I packed for my trip. iPod, guys. This is advanced technology at the time. Got to rock the iPod. You got the Moleskine sketchbook, pens and such, books and magazines, vitamins and aspirin, crucial. Contact lens stuff, glasses, awesome 80s style computer cocaine shirt, essential clean clothes, bum style paint pants, you never know, haha, and floss. Visiting family in St. Louis. Oh, rest in peace to Magnus. My boy Andrew Soria, his dog passed away. So this strip was dedicated to Magnus. A gentleman dog, a true champion. He always greeted me with warmth and respect. You'll be missed, buddy. Dogs are family members. Dogs are,
For sure.
This is funny. Sunday, I took the bus to the Egyptian Theater. So many Hollywood freaks up in here. Insane. I ate some weed chocolate and went to the David Byrne double feature. They showed Stop Making Sense and True Stories on the big screen, and it was totally amazing. Rad. Making Flippy Floppy, trying to do my best. That's a Talking Head song. David Byrne is a goddamn genius. Jane Dope showed up later. No way, Tom Tom Club? Yep. She was having some boy troubles, but I was too high to help. I'm sorry. I feel like an ass. It's okay. Later, peanut butter sandwich on toast, yo. So a lot of the strips, friends, food, fun, family, funk. Reggie Watts makes an appearance, the comedian. We went and saw LL Cool J, Z-Trip. My boy Z-Trip became LL Cool J's DJ, and I believe is still working with him. And LL crushed it that night. And then James Pants, also super dope producer DJ. Jay, my boy Jay's wedding. I think we're getting close to. Oh, remember Mr. Brainwash exit through the gift shop? So Brainwash had a huge gallery show, and he let artists just come down to his gallery and wheat paste on the walls as a collaborative project. So I went down there. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get up on this art show. And he was cool as shit to me. People said he was a creation of Banksy and he was a fraud and all this stuff. I don't know the answers to that, but in person, he was actually a really sweet guy. He was cool to me. So I got up and did a huge wheat paste of my Pop Life piece. Sunday, I met Mr. Brainwash. Food one, yes, this Pop Life, very lovely. Cool, thanks. Tomorrow you come back, you draw and paint on the floors. We fill the entire building with art. Seriously? I own this building, my friend. We do whatever we want to do. That's right. We do whatever we want to do. The end. That's a cool like mantra for just being an artist, like doing art. Like you just do what you want to do. You do whatever you want to do. You know, so I did not make it back the next day because I had deadlines or whatever, but him letting artists from LA just come out and get up on his gallery spot, I thought was a pretty cool move, you know. Some more romance, some more cute romance at that time. Just my luck, raddest girl ever, and she lives in another city. At home, man, I can still sort of smell her on my shirt. Yum. We've all had crushes. We've all had people. Carmen also rocking that funky Hellhound t-shirt right there. Look at that. There's Jay and Sarah at their wedding. This completely explains their whole relationship and their sense of humor. I thought that was very funny. Oh, Rob Schraub, legendary creator of Scud, the Disposable Assassin. His wedding, I jumped in the limo with him and Kate. And you guys remember my Girl Scouts 30th anniversary stream. Kate Freund, his wife, was my head writer on the Girl Scouts animated series in 2020 that did not happen. But I love Rob and Kate. Good people. Jason Sean Alexander's bachelor party in Las Vegas. The legendary Jason Sean. This was smart. We drove from LA. Here's how you do a bachelor party. It was just me, Jason, Kent Williams, Dave Crosland, Herb Russell, who we talked about earlier, and Jason's buddy Chris. And we just went for 24 hours. We drove to Vegas, ate, got in our suits and ties, ate a steak dinner, got drunk, went to a strip club, did drugs, stayed up all night, and then left the next day and drove back.
That is intense.
Now, Jamie, when I was working on this comic, Jason was very concerned and was like, okay, what are you going to put in this Inkstain strip? Like, my future wife is going to see this. People are going to see this. Like, and so I did a respectful, not that anything, no one got murdered, like nothing happened, but it was, Jason was like, you know, let me know. Hey, idiot, let me know what your bachelor party comic is going to be. So,
did you have to remove stuff, or was it fine first draft?
No, it was all good. I think I sent him like, because for these I would always type up a script for myself and print it out and do the brackets of like all the panels. And I think I sent him the typescript and was like, this is what's happening in each panel and the dialogue. So he was like, oh yeah, I'm glad you omitted out the murder that happened in Vegas that we had to. And we have the last strip, which ends with Rob Schraub and Kate's wedding. Sarah Silverman performs a song. Dan Harmon officiated the ceremony. So do we have the rings now or what? And then this was awesome. I met Derek Mears, who played, look how tall he is. Derek played Kick Puncher in the Community TV show, but more importantly, well, not more importantly, but as equally important, Derek played Jason in the Friday the 13th reboot when they brought it back. And he was an awesome Jason. Like, say what you want about that movie. I don't know if it's great or not. I've seen it a couple times, but Derek killed it as Jason in that movie. He was a very scary and intimidating Jason. Bonus material, like I mentioned, some bonus strips here for Bell Sound. We got the posse. We got look at handsome Steve Soria here in his cosplay at Renaissance Fair cosplay or something. This is our the director of all of our videos. This is a dope shot. There's Carmen, Scott Zobak, Jeff Shagawat, rest in peace, brother. Oh, this is cool too. Carmen's brother, myself, Carmen, and then my little brother. So me and Inkstains posse with our brothers. That's when I got my fresh, brand new Ramelzi tattoo tag on my arm, courtesy of my boy Josh, who worked at what was the name of that spot? Dope Tattoo Parlor on Santa Monica. And then I did a gig for Nissan, where Nissan released their Juke car in limited edition, where you could order my art as a wrap on the car. Like you could order the car with my art on it. That was a crazy gig. That was an awesome gig. Gary Wilson, tribute to one of my favorite musicians. My buddy Jeff and I became completely obsessed with this Gary Wilson record, You Think You Really Know Me. If you know like music and cult music, you know this record. It's on like the top 10 of every tastemaker, like Matt Groening from The Simpsons and Questlove from The Roots, who's a DJ. Gary made this record in the basement of his parents' house in the late 70s. And it's like a spooky, creepy funk groove masterpiece where he played most of all the instruments, did all the overdubbing and loops. And he grew up as like a Eerie Comics fan, EC Comics fan, Twilight Zone fan, Frank Zappa fan. And it's like James Brown mixed with Steely Dan on crack is the record. So I'm sure many of you listen to it tonight. But we would impersonate Gary. We'd get drunk and like jump on people's couches at parties, and we would bring the record with us to parties. We'd bring the CD and take over people's stereos like crazy people. And we forced this whole Gary Wilson thing on people it went on for like 2 years or something. So Gary saw this comic. The real Gary Wilson wound up seeing this comic, and he found my email on my website and emailed me, and he stayed in character as Gary Wilson and typed to me in a very strange way. Like he was like, Jim, yes, thank you. You're very talented. Linda is calling me from the other room. I must go now. And like, that was the email. He's a true champion. He's a true champion. Some more signing with Ziggy. Aaron, Angry Wobots, incredible artist. You guys probably know him. Woes. Me with Chris Pernowski, the owner of Titmouse Animation Studios. Scott Mosier, our boy. Smodcast. Represent. Humpty Dance in New York. Custom made t-shirt. BP costume right there. This was a heavy one. DJ Dusk was one of the main friends I met when I moved to LA and was one of the main guys behind the Root Down, legendary weekly funk soul hip hop event every Thursday night in Los Angeles. And this is just my story of becoming good friends with Dusk. And he died tragically in 2006. Him and his girlfriend were crossing a street one night after he was DJing, and a drunk driver came from out of nowhere, and Dusk pushed his girlfriend out of the way. He saved her life, and he got hit and killed by the drunk driver. It was so shocking and devastating, and a huge blow to the music scene in LA. Yeah, it still fucks with me thinking about it. But this is just Z Trip introduced me to Dusk, and we didn't get along at first. Like, he was kind of being a cool LA guy and was very aloof to me and didn't really take time to get to know me. And it turned out he knew that I was like a new kid in the scene, and he was one of the sort of protectors of the art and music scene in LA. And he wanted to see what I was made of, you know. He wanted to see what my chops were. And once he saw that I was like the real deal, the legit deal, I wanted to be part of the scene, not to be like a poser or for some sort of like fame or whatever. It was really in my blood to want to go out and do art, share my comic books with people, rock live art on stage with these guys at the Root Down. When he saw that, he embraced me and we became like really tight friends. So I understood, he had like a vetting process of like, I don't want fucking posers moving to my city and becoming part of the scene if they're not like the real shit. And so I get it. Partying, having fun. I got home from partying one night and there was a message from Z Trip on my machine. Zach telling me he was driving back from Coachella and got the news that Dusk had passed away. And I was just like, oh, that can't be. There's no way, you know. The denial phase of death, you know, literally standing next to denial, you know. I smoked and stared at the walls for a couple hours. It can't be. And then the next day, phone calls, and then going to Music Man Miles's house for a remembrance gathering of the crew. Miles was the leader of the world famous group, the Breakups. If you guys don't know them, check out their music. They're unbelievable funk group. And Miles was also one of the co-founders of the Root Down. So this freaked me out. I walked in and DJ Dusk's record bag was just sitting alone on the ground. And that made me run out of the party and have a private moment. Okay. Not going to cry on this stream. I'm starting to. Anyway, so
Heavy stuff.
It is, man. It's so life shit, you know? And so I was very proud of this ending. I end it with one of my last times seeing him. Dusk invited me up to like the VIP upstairs of the Virgil where Root Down happened, and no one was allowed up there. So this was a sign of trust of him allowing me to come up there. And we had this crazy moment of, I was like, dude, Dusk. Everyone knows you as Dusk. Like, what's your real name? Tariq. Tariq Habib Kaptan. Dude, that's way cooler than Dusk. Haha. Bring it on in, man. Word up. So Dusk, like myself, is half Middle Eastern and also half Puerto Rican, I believe. So we had this Middle Eastern connection, and then this is like something out of a movie. The very last time I saw him, and the very last thing I said to him, we were driving out of the route down late at night. I saw him. I whipped out my camera and I said, "Smile, rock star." And I took a photo of him. Ha ha. We drove off into the night. And that was the last time I would ever see him. Smile, rock star. Those 2 words. It was the perfect last thing to say to him. Smile, rock star. It sort of sums up our whole friendship in a strange way. I'm going to end this on Dusk's words, not mine. He was always better at talking than me anyway. So Dusk would always end the night or begin the night, or sometimes do the middle of the night, by saying this welcoming speech to all the party people that were at the root down every week. I'm not going to read it because I won't make it through it. So there he is, the boy, the man, the myth, the legend. There's another great shot of him. I took a photo of him, and then this is cool. This is like a meta. At some point, he was aiming a camera at me, you know. Pretty sweet. Oh, Los Angeles Inkstains stickers. And then we'll end it. Or wait, yeah, we'll end it. The brown paper bag. One of the worst moments, one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. San Diego Comic-Con 2006. I wound up getting a DUI and going to jail and being thrown in a cell in a drunk tank for 12 hours. And then this just documents all of that crazy experience. And then here I am in jail. This is funny. They bring you a brown bag. The reason why it's called the brown paper bag, you guys, the reason why it's called the brown paper bag is when you're in jail, they bring you a brown sandwich bag. And in the bag was a sugar cookie and a weird ham sandwich on moldy bread. I only ate the cookie and drank the juice. Fucking gross. Eventually, everyone in my cell passed out. I was in a shared cell. And you guys, the lowest moment of my life, all the drugs and booze in my stomach, I had to take a shit on the toilet. Luckily, everyone was passed out, Jamie. Everyone was passed out. I look over. Oh, fuck me. There's no toilet paper. The brown paper bag. The same paper bag my meal had come in. This was the lowest I had ever sunk. In jail, exhausted and destroyed, surrounded by passed out lowlifes and scum, wiping my ass with a fucking brown sandwich bag. How pathetic. And then it goes into me being like, if my mom saw this, she would die of a heart attack. She would just fall over and die. If she knew that this had happened to me. And then, dude, I have my hood up and I'm just like laying on the floor of the dirty jail cell. And I do wind up passing out for a bit. 12 miserable hours later, James Mahfood, you're free to go. Huh? Sweet fucking freedom. Sweet freedom. I got out of jail, ate a huge meal. I didn't have my registration in the glove box of my car. My car got towed and impounded. motherfucker, you see my reaction? The guy running the lot wouldn't let me have my car. So we had to stay an extra day after Comic-Con. Jeff Shagowatt, my boy, my homie, stayed with me. We had to go to the DMV, get new registration printed out, get my car. I had to hire a lawyer to help me deal with the ramifications of getting a DUI in San Diego because I lived in LA. So I had to travel back to San Diego to get sentenced in court. And the judge was cool enough to let me carry out my sentence in LA, which included mandatory DUI classes once a week for 3 months, mandatory community service where I worked as a dishwasher, and mandatory AA meetings in Hollywood where I was not allowed to talk or participate, obviously, because these meetings were real people with real problems, like actual addicts. So when you walk in and you're court appointed, the AA people that run the class come up to you and they say, sit in the back and don't say a word. And you say, yes, of course, I understand. I'm not. It's crazy that they made us do AA.
That's insane.
Right? It's so fucked up and inappropriate, man. Andrew Soria rocking that stash. Look at that. Oh, the wrap-up comic. I forgot. Yeah. So The Unseen is the evolution of me as a kid going into being a teenager, to discovering psychedelics and discovering my place in the world and my view of reality and my view of life itself. And it sounds like a heavy, nonsensy kind of drug-inspired thing, but it's really not. It's just me discovering and unlearning a lot of things that I learned being raised like in the Midwest, Catholic, by very loving parents, but that were also strict and had lots of rules. And it's just kind of strip about finding your own personal freedom, your own personal liberty, with actually some like pretty dope visuals of like, you know, squeegeeing that third eye open, and seeing beyond just the physical 3D world that we live in every single day. Like, and then you can tell by the hairstyles, like short hair, it's me starting to read and realize like, oh, organized religion might not have the best intentions, and corporations might actually be like ruthless conglomerates owned by 1%ers that are here to like brainwash us. The military industrial complex, you know, all things that most artists go through some sort of awakening during their life that lets them know like the truth of what all this jive bullshit is actually about. So this was just a comic about that. It's a cool, fun way to end this whole production. And then it gets to the point of like me looking at the drawing table and realizing wanting to do Inkstains as a comic. Flashback to the end of 2008. An autobiographical comic about my life as an artist, with all the travels, parties, live art, jams, gallery shows, comic cons, late night destruction, insanity, barbecues, after parties, dance battles, and whatnot, with the city of LA as the backdrop and my friends and family as the supporting cast of characters. Is it too much? Too narcissistic? Will it work? And then write, draw, scan, post. It worked. You know, so the book ends with the realization of me as an artist, knowing that I can continue to evolve and do something different and do something that will hopefully reach people and make a connection. And as cheesy as that sounds, that's what the function of art is.
That's so cool.
And then we
Such a
have
good
this
ending.
beautiful- Oh, Jamie. So before we show off the beautiful yearbook and come to a conclusion, can we do, just because these need to be seen because of all the work put in, can we show the remaining Inkstains prom videos?
We can. We have a few videos, Jim, and then we have another video. I'll just say t-shirt, so you know what I'm talking about. Will we play them straight away, or should we
Yes.
wait?
Yeah, all
Okay.
of them, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, dudes, real simple. June 16th, Inkstains party at Titmouse. Go to this website. Choose your prom package, buy it, show up, get the book, drink, dance, have fun, eat a burrito, go home.
Burrito.
Get your swerve on. Under the sheets. It's hot.
People lose their virginity at prom, so you guys should come and lose your virginity all over again.
To this guy.
This guy, he has a glove. I don't know if you noticed. Badasses wear gloves. Alright, I'm done. One last time, you guys. Los Angeles Inkstains, June 16th at Titmouse for the prom. God damn it.
Okay, now give me
You're a dick.
give me
We're back, bitch.
And if you weren't here Saturday, then you missed this. And this. And this. And this. And this. You missed a lot of shit. Now's your chance not to be a lame bitch. Well, this Wednesday, June 20th at Meltdown Comics, it's the LA Inkstains mini prom book signing. Pretty freaking neato. Wednesday, June 20th at Meltdown Comics, LA Inkstains. What the fuck? Mini prom, LA Inkstains.
I don't know what it is. It's like
LA
a
Inkstains mini prom book signing.
We're just gonna trade you weapons. We'll pull some samurai shit.
Those videos, man.
So good.
Shout out to Heather, Steve Soria. Love you guys. So damn good. Oh, and guys, those Los Angeles Inkstains shirts, shameless plug, but those are still available on my TeePublic. So you can just buy one today, guys and girls sizes. It's still, the design is still pretty dope. It's that image. We don't have to go through this whole thing, but I just wanted to shout out the work involved with the yearbook, man. Everybody getting their moment to shine. Dave Mandel, world famous showrunner of Veep and Curb Your Enthusiasm, writer on Seinfeld, world famous art collector, Jason Sean Alexander. We always got to give him a shout out. Merce, John Romita Jr., some of the comic folks, Mike Mignola, Alex Pardee, Tara McPherson, the family, mom and dad. I used old photos of my mom and dad. Like those are real spiffy photos. And yes, the photos are in order of appearance of when people appeared in the book, obviously. So this is funny. This is the whole like French crew. Maureen, Raph, Caroline, Aguette, James Jean makes an appearance. Paul Pope, Mosier, that's our boy. Dan Harmon, looking very young there. There's Josh Schneider. That's my tattoo artist. Street Hawk, Steve, he's in the chat right now. Shout out to the Hawk, 1545. Troublemaker, Killer Reese One. These guys have a group called King Fantastic, one of my favorite hip hop groups of all time. Check out their music, man. They are fucking incredible. There's Guillermo del Toro. Oh, and Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright had an appearance. The legend, Bill Sienkiewicz. So Troy Nixie directed Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, and I went to the movie premiere that's in the Inkstains, and Guillermo produced the movie. So I met Guillermo and Edgar at the after party, and they were both really, really good dudes. There's Rob Schraub and Kate, homies. Music Man Miles, like I mentioned, and then we end with DJ Dusk, which that's an appropriate ending, right? And then you get your autograph section. You get the about the author photo with me, naked virgin forearms, no tattoos on the forearms, Jamie. I'm like a 15-year-old boy in this photo. Back photo shot by my homegirl, Chloe Rice. Chloe is married to Alex Pardee, brilliant artist. And Chloe was one of my models for my Tank Girl comics. She posed for photo reference for me that wound up in the book, which was awesome. So there's Inkstains, guys. Jamie, do you mind going through some quick imagery relating to Inkstains?
Did it? Here we go.
This is me painting the mural at the Inkstains prom that everyone got their prom photos taken in front of. Quick spray paint job. This is an ad we did for the Inkstains shirts. My homegirl, Callie, was cool enough to model. This is me with, oh shit, from Yo Gabba Gabba, Lance Rock. We did it. So there was one of the commercials we showed. We did the Inkstains prom, and then we did an additional after party a couple nights later at Meltdown Comics to also celebrate the book. So there's some photos in here from the Meltdown Comics Inkstains party. These are the custom Inkstains Beat Bees that you could order as part of your prom package. So we did a Beat Bee toy with a mixtape, and then I got blanks and just painted them black and white. So these were fun. Heather posing with that shirt. More bees. There's an army of bees. And then each box, man, I custom drew as well. So every single box was different and featured original art on all sides of the box. And you didn't know what bee you were getting inside. They were all slightly splattered differently, you know.
That's so cool. Echoes of the Savage Street stuff when you would later do that in the back of the book.
Yeah. This was my table setup at the prom. So if you would come in with your ticket, and if you just ordered the book, you get your copy of the book. If you ordered the book, the toy, and the limited edition print, this is where you got everything. We were very professional. We had volunteers, and we had the little standy puppet of myself greeting people. These were some photos Steve took of Heather rocking the shirt. And then to the right of her, I, was drawing the lettering feature, all the info about the prom. And we were using these as promo pieces. Inkstains Army. This was a little print that all of our volunteers got this, if you were part of the official army. And then Carmen, I don't know if you remember, but someone, I cannot remember, I feel bad about it. Someone made Carmen and I a custom bow tie for me and a custom hair ribbon for Carmen out of Inkstains comic strips. Like this is incredible. This is someone being so damn sweet. And I'm trying to remember. It was Chubby Bunny. Michelle. Yes, thank you. Shout out to Michelle, Chubby Bunny. Incredible. So flattering. These are some of my attempts at doing the cover of the Inkstains book. I knew it was going to just be white graffiti style text on the black cover. So these are some of the other versions I cooked up. And then this is the one that made the cut, and you just add the little booze bottle and the little my name at the bottom, and that's the cover of the book. Some shots from Steve of Herbert and I. And then if you were an Inkstains photographer, if your photography was featured in the book, if you got to the prom, you got this official card. And it means you got a free copy of the book. That was my thank you to all the photographers. This was the limited edition screen print we did as part of the package for the prom. And this is just me kicking it in my Los Angeles Inkstains taco truck, guys.
That's a sick piece.
I like that. I still like that piece. Yeah. There's the full prom backdrop for your photo. This was just one of the teaser images for the prom. The format of those, the vertical format, I'm trying to remember. What were these for, Carmen? Do you remember? I don't know. The format of them being vertical, it seems like they were printed out or used for something. I don't know. There's one of the bees, the mixtape, and the box. And there's the full. Oh, they were Facebook ads. Yeah, because Facebook is the vertical format. And this is one of the photos with the finished art and promo info attached to it. I did a custom. This was the symbol, the character for Meltdown Comics, where we did the after party. So I did an official Inkstains Meltdown alien for the promo for that party. some behind the scenes shots. I think this is after party, Huddleston and Carmen cheersing me. This is a Murderer's Row, Jason Sean Alexander, Jeffrey Shagawat, rest in peace, myself, and our incredible director, photographer, Stephen A. Soria. This is crazy. This is like why I lived in LA. The iron sharpens iron. Like the crew of myself, David Mack, Bill Sienkiewicz, Jason Sean Alexander, Satine Phoenix ducking behind Jason, and Stephanie Ignacki, with the big guy in the background is John Schnepp. Rest in peace to John. John was the showrunner on Metalocalypse at Titmouse, the incredible animated show. And John also made the documentary. It's called The Death of Superman Lives. And it's all about how Tim Burton's Superman movie didn't get made, but John knew everyone in Hollywood. So he got the access to all the crazy behind the scenes art and production stuff that was involved in making that Tim Burton Superman movie. But I think this was also shot the night of the Inkstains party at Meltdown. Dave Johnson, one of the greatest cover artists in the history of comics. Old friend of mine. I love Dave, rocking the Inkstains shirt. And Megan Hutchinson, dope artist. She did a graphic novel years ago for Image called Rock Stars. So this was at Casey's Irish Bar in downtown LA, where Dave Johnson and Dan Panosian hosted Drink and Draw almost every weekly. The Kibitz? Is this the Kibitz, Carmen? Or no, this is Casey's. The other.
Yeah, I think that was the something before. Yeah.
Yeah, Kibitz room. Okay. Dope shot of Heather rocking the Inkstain shirt. Oh, the crew. Standing in front of Amoeba Records, the world famous. This was Inkstains prom weekend. Us probably out at night, still partying. Myself, Carmen, the designer, prom promoter, and my little brother DJ Moff, who DJ'd the party. You guys, my brother Dan, DJ Moff, also has a YouTube page. It's called DJ Moff's House. Check that out. He's been doing live streams on Monday on Twitch and then uploading them to YouTube, and they're fucking killer mixes, man. Like my brother's like totally legit DJ. Really, really dope. Very proud of him. Very proud of our crew. More rooftop Los Angeles pimpage. Oh, this is Willow, the Gas Lamp Killer, one of my favorite DJs of all time, rocking the book at Meltdown, where it looks like Dave Crosland and I had artwork hanging on the walls behind him. This might have been a live art party. It's me with Steve Soria, our director, photographer. Another promo piece for the prom.
And that's the mo. That's the last image.
That's it. And then, guys, we're basically done, but I just want to show some current Autobio stuff. It'll be very quick. Thank you so much for hanging in with me. Girl Scouts Magic Socks, also designed by Carmen Acosta. There's a strip in the back of this that is like me chronicling my history with my creator-owned property, Girl Scouts. And it's fun because it shows my evolution through hairstyles and facial hair, but it's basically chronicling my history making the creator-owned book, Girl Scouts. So that's a fun Autobio thing that happened in 2017. And then, Jamie, can we show something that just happened last year? I did a teaser of this on the Girl Scouts live stream, but I did online comics exclusive to Zest World starting in 2022. The print version of all this will be out next year, but this was me bringing myself back as a character in my own strip, having deadline problems. Luckily, a dimensional rift opens in the ceiling of my studio, and Dio and Gordy fall through, and they come to my aid, and I assign them with the task of making the comic strip for that week. And they come up with all sorts of crazy ass ideas, like the podcast Punisher, Crunch Maddox, a farting superhero, very lowbrow. Can you zoom in on that real quick, Jamie? Zoom in, yeah. And then see, even Dio's like, nah, too lowbrow. Duckbill Blastopus is a Ninja Turtles parody. How to write real good. So it ends with them just kind of coming up. This is parodying my previous Autobio stuff I've shown you guys, where you do the cheap thing where you make a comic about you making the comic. And I come back from vacation, and Dio and Gordy are showing me this page, and it's just a comic about them making the comic. And I'm like, this is so lazy and obvious. And then Gordy's like, wait, what about your thoughts on a cheese eating mega flatulent superhero, a farting superhero? Keep talking. Oh, brother. Typical kind of comic book ending. Austin asks, how did you find the time to chronicle your life while also having a wild social life and being a full-time artist working for clients? Just mastering a crazy sense of self-discipline, where even though I had a crazy social life in LA, as you can see from the book, and partying, that stuff never got in the way of me waking up every single day and working. So if I was hungover or whatever state I was in, I could still wake up. And keep in mind, I was in my early mid 30s when Inkstains was happening. So I started partying, when I was like 16 or 17, and kept that going till I was about 40. So 25 years or so of conditioning my brain and my body and my constitution to go out, socialize, put chemicals and substances in my body, and still have a full-time career, travel, produce work, and not meet deadlines. It's a lifestyle that I wouldn't recommend to most people. I mean, and obviously like booze and marijuana and substances, it affects every human's body differently and brain chemistry differently. And I just came from a long line of partiers. Like my mom and my dad on both sides of their family, they all were very social and party type people on the weekends. So I was able to just like live and function that way. But for most people, maybe you would try this lifestyle and you would just die after like 1 week or whatever. So I did it. I had a blast. I got it out of my system. I obviously don't live this way anymore. I'm basically a square now. And but regardless of partying, the best thing ever, I still wake up every single day super pumped to be in studio. So my function now is not to be in nightclubs and buying cocaine from people in bathroom stalls of dive bars. It's to wake up and just crush it every day in my studio and do stuff like the Ink Pulp podcast, these kind of shows. I still travel and do Comic Cons. I still do signings, but I did all of this just so that I could say and look back on it and know that I did it and had a blast and survived it and met all these incredible, wonderful people that I still stay in touch with. I should stay in touch with them more, because I still sort of consider LA to be my home, but I move around a lot, and really I don't have a home. My home is basically just where my art table is. And then I just travel and visit my friends around the country or around the world. Would I ever move back to LA, or is that chapter done? Good question. I don't know. I would probably move back to LA. This is a cheap answer, but I'd probably move back if I was rich and I could afford a really comfortable place to live, because I live in a really dope spot now in the Midwest, and I don't know how I would feel about if I had to live in like a 1-bedroom apartment for whatever it costs, $2,500 a month or whatever. So I don't know, but I know that I've got 1 or 2 more moves left in me. Like, this ain't going to be the last place that I live. So
everyone go back Arachnid Enforcer so Jim can move back to LA.
Please
That's basically
back
what he's saying.
my next book, and check out Los Angeles Inkstains. I don't have any copies for sale on my website. You can score it online, published by the fine folks at Image Comics. And, you know, guys, I'm the sole owner of the ridiculous, oversized, printer's proof. Only one of these in existence, Jamie. My thought is I'm going to sign it, remark it, pop it up on eBay for what? 25,000? 25,000 for this? 50,000. 50,000. Okay. Save up your money, guys. This is going up in the next week. But if you want the $30 version or used version, score one. And, you know, Bad Ideas and Stupid Comics also out there in the world. Cosmic Toast is going to be harder for you to find, but enough of the shameless pimpage. There's the collection of that. Guys, thank you so much. Carmen Acosta, aka Jane Dope, I love you so much. Thank you for your incredible work on this book. It is a legendary piece in my career, voted by the public as one of the top 5 books I've ever produced in my life. Street Hawk, Dave Crosland, Steve Soria, whoever else from the crew was in this chat. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody for watching and for tuning in after the fact. If you can, hit like and subscribe on my channel. My goal is to do more of these behind the scenes videos on this crazy, weird 28-year professional career I've had. It's just fun to look back. And with each video, though, I'm also trying to do pointers and give out tips on actually making books and making comics and storytelling and how this freelance lifestyle works. Jazzy Jamie Wood, as always, brother, I kept you up super late. Thank you so much for being part of it, bud. I greatly appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me, Jim. It is a pleasure.
Awesome, dude. We're going to do another one soon, possibly looking at all my old terrible sketchbooks throughout the late 80s and early 90s, showing a dramatic evolution in art style. Stay tuned for the announcement on that. And we'll talk real soon. Thanks, guys. Good night.